Hi, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to have a review. So first, I want you to please match these words to their meanings. Please pause the video while you work on this. Okay, let's go ahead and check. Animated means full of life or excitement, lively. Bizarre means very strange or unusual. Boring, it means that it's not interesting, it's something tedious. Frustrating, causing annoyance or upsetment. Usually it's because you don't get the result you want. Hilarious is extremely amusing, entertaining. In depth is in great detail. And intense is having or showing strong feelings or emotions. Very good. Now, go ahead and match these adjectives and their meanings. Pause the video, please. Okay, now let's go ahead and check. Intimate means private and personal. Lengthy, of considerable or unusual length, very long. Meaningful, significant or relevant. If something is one-sided, it means that it involves only one part, it's unilateral. Pointless, having little or no sense. Predictable is able to be predicted. And stimulating, it encourages or arouses interest or enthusiasm. Okay, guys, great. Now, I want you to please classify the words into positive, negative, or neutral words. For example, if something is animated, would you say it's positive, negative, or neutral? That's right, animated is positive. Now pause the video while you work on the rest. Okay, we're going to check this in class. Now think about this. When was the last time you had an animated conversation? Or the last time you had a boring conversation? Think about this before class we're going to share. Okay, great. Now let's continue with our review. Now, what do the words and expressions mean? We're continue talking about conversation, so please pause the video while you match. Okay, guys, great. So, butt in is to interrupt someone. If you drone and on about something, you talk for a long time in a boring way, you talk about the same thing all over again. If something flows, it continues in an easy or natural way. Get across means explain or communicate. Hog is to dominate something. In this case, you have a conversation, you dominate a conversation. Hunt around, you work hard to find, you're thinking about like what is that you're trying to say. If you are on the same wavelength with someone, it means that you are able to understand the way someone thinks. And if you have something to say, it's an interesting point to make. Very good. Now I want you to please go to your student book, page 39. Here, you're going to be working on exercise 1, which is complete the descriptions with the words and phrases in the box. Let's do letter A together. I think Dylan can be really rude, don't you? He's forever on conversations. He's forever butting in conversations. Very good. And it's not even as if he's got anything interesting to say. Very good. Now pause the video to work on the rest, please. Okay, great. We're going to check this during class. Now let's continue. Now, I want you to please read this text and find words that are similar to specific. Pause the video while you look for them. Okay, guys, so you should have found specifically, specific, specifying, and specifications. Now, do these words mean the same? No, these words do not mean the same. We have nouns, we have adverbs, adjectives, right? So what I want you to do is to please go ahead and complete this chart with the other forms of the words. For example, we have the verb assess. What is the noun for assess? Assessment. Very good. Now pause the video while you work on this. Okay, now let's go ahead and check. So for assess, we have assessment assess, assessed, and the adverb is accessibly. Now for the next word, we have benefit as noun, verb benefit, adjective is beneficial, and then our adverb is beneficially. Let's check productivity. We have that as noun. We can also have product, verb is produce, productive, and productively. Next word, profit or profitably, profit, profitable, or profitably. Specification, specify, specific, and specifically. The last one we have strategy, strategize, strategic, and strategically. Great. Now let's go to our student book page 39, exercise 2. Here we have to complete the sentences with the correct form of the words in parentheses. Do you need a noun, a verb, an adjective, or an adverb? Let's do letter A. That was probably the greatest of my whole life. I need to use the word achieve. What do you think here? That's right, the answer would be achievement. Now pause the video to do the rest, please. Okay, great. Now let's go ahead and continue. So I want you to please read this text that I wrote about my mom cooking this year's fiambre and to identify the phrases that are in continuous, imperfect, or imperfect continuous. Please pause the video while you work on this. Okay, let's go ahead and check. So we have had been preparing is perfect continuous. Hadn't bought is just perfect, in this case past perfect. Were cooking is continuous. And had burned is perfect continuous. Now, if you see, I'm using different tenses to tell the story, right? I'm also included a simple past here. So I want you to please match the aspects of the tenses to the way that where they are used. Pause the video, please. Okay, let's go ahead and check. So we use continuous or progressive forms, whether they are in in present, in past, or in future, because we're using them to describe an action or series of actions that are in progress at a specific point in time. We use the perfect forms, present perfect, past perfect, or future perfect, and we use them to look back at an action that took or will take place before a specific point in time. And the perfect continuous, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, or future perfect continuous emphasize on the length of time, the duration of time an action has been in progress, or the fact that it has only recently stopped. Now let's go to our student book, page 38, exercise 1. Here you have to underline the correct alternatives to complete the text. Let's do the first two. I had for ages. I had been waiting for ages, very good, because I'm talking about the duration. I really bored. I was getting really bored. Very good, that was in progress at the time. Pause the video while you work on the rest. Okay, we're going to check this during our class, so let's continue. Now, I want you to please read this menu for the restaurant. What would you change about this? Okay, guys, so just remember to prepare some changes before class so we can share. Now, I want you to please now identify the determiners. They tell you the quantity of something, a pre-modification or adjectives before the noun, and the post-modification or extra information we have of each of these phrases. Pause the video while you work on this, please. Okay, let's check. So we have two, fried, that would be my adjective. Cakes is the noun, that's what I'm talking about. And then the rest of the sentence is the post modification because it's extra information. Have a is a determiner, is giving me a quantity. Fried would be the adjective. The chicken is the object I'm talking about. And the rest is the extra information. A generous portion of blackened, fresh, milled, white. So we have many adjectives here. Fish is the noun, and of course the rest is our extra information. 10 ounces, that's a reminder. New York strip, that would be the adjectives. Steak, the noun. Served with parmesan, French fries, and garlic sauce, that would be the extra information. Excellent. So now I want you to please come up with the order of adjectives. Use the sentences to guide you. Pause the video, please. Okay, great. So if you remember, whenever we are using a noun phrase and we're going to use several adjectives, we need to follow a specific order, which is we start with our opinion, the size, the qualities of the noun we're talking about, the age, the shape, pattern, color, the origin, if we know it, material, and type. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that you need to use 10 adjectives to describe each of the nouns. Sometimes you're going to use one, two, maybe three, okay? But you should follow this order no matter how many adjectives you're using. Now, please, go to your student book, page 38, exercise 3. Write the phrases in the correct order. Pause the video while you work on this, please. Okay, now let's go ahead and check the first one. A beautiful silk shirt with a delicate floral pattern. Very good. Now we're going to check the rest during class. Let's continue. Read the sentences. Do they mean the same? What's more important? Pause the video while you think about this. Okay? So if you notice, the sentences, they do mean the same. However, I'm putting some emphasis in some of the sentences. So the phrases that I have here circled, they are giving some emphasis. Gone are the days, the reason why they stopped giving the good toys, with every year that passed by. So I'm talking about all of the time that has passed. So yes, this is the emphasis that I'm giving the more important thing. And this is, if you remember, it's called fronting, which basically is just changing the order of the sentence to make something a little bit more important, to give it emphasis. Let's go to our student book, page 38, exercise 4. Here you need to rewrite the sentences starting with the word given. For example, letter A says, his name was Harry. Harry was his name. Very good. Now do the rest, please. And once you finish, write a short story about Harry's disappearance. Use fronting when appropriate. Pause the video while you work on these exercises. Okay? Great. We're going to check this during class and we're going to share our stories too. Now, I want you to please match the taste phrases and idioms to their meaning. Okay? So, for example, tasty means delicious, right? Now, pause the video while you work on the rest. Okay? Great. Now, let's go ahead and check our answers. So, acquired taste is something you learn to like. You first don't like it, but then you learn to like it. Tastefully means it's about manner, it shows good aesthetic judgment or appropriate behavior. If you share the same taste with someone, it means that you have the same likes as this person. Tasteless is also manner, but this time it means with no good aesthetic judgment or appropriate behavior. So it's the total opposite of tastefully. A taste of one's own medicine, it's basically just talking about karma. Leave a bad taste is to make a bad impression on someone. Be in poor taste, and this means that something is rude or insulting. If I say there's no accounting for taste, I mean that it's impossible to explain why different people like different things. And taste victory is the experience of winning. Very good, guys. Now, let's go ahead and practice. Let's go to our student book, page 39, exercise 3. Here, we need to match the sentences with the responses. For example, letter A says, have you seen Tim's new hairstyle? What do you think is the answer? That's right. The correct response for this one would be number 2. Yes, just goes to show there's no accounting for taste. Excellent. Now pause the video while you work on the rest. Okay, great. Now let's continue. We're going to check this during class. Please read these sentences and decide. Can you prove the information that you're showing in these sentences? No, you cannot prove this. So this is hedging, and basically what we do here is we put some distance between the information we are saying and ourselves. Maybe because we don't believe it, because we don't have evidence, or we just don't want to say that we share the same opinion, right? So let's find the verbs here that are helping us to do the hedging. Pause the video, please. Now let's go ahead and check. Seem, believe. We can use the phrase no evidence, appear, also again a phrase no question, and no. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this. We can use the verbs seem, appear, and suggest to put some distance between yourself and the facts. Now, if I want to put more distance, because maybe this is more formal, or I just like, I really want for the people to know that I don't necessarily believe this or that I don't necessarily think this, I can use would, right? Examples: it appears that most people enjoy life in cities. It would appear that most people enjoy life in cities. Now, if I'm going to share another person's opinion, I can use passive voice with the verbs think, recognize, believe, report, and know. For example, we can say it is believed that fresh air improves the quality of life. It is known that pollution causes many diseases. Great. Now, here it's important that with these verbs, we are not going to use would. And last, we can use noun phrases to show your attitude towards the reliability of a statement. How much do we think this is true or not? Or how much do we know about this? For example, we can say there's no evidence or there's no question. If there is a strong evidence about something, you can say there is little or no doubt or little or no discussion. If the evidence is somehow strong, but you're not completely sure, you could use something like there is some evidence or some discussion, some doubt. And if this is unreliable, like you cannot trust in this information because maybe you didn't get the information you needed, we can say there is little evidence, there is no evidence. Look at the examples. There's no evidence that proves younger people prefer to live alone. There's no question that La Paz is the highest capital in the world. And that, like, it's a very strong evidence, but the first one is unreliable. Now let's go ahead and practice. Let's go to the student book, page 38, exercise 5. Here you need to add words and phrases from the box to soften the statements and reflect your attitude. Pause the video while you work on this, please. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and check. So, for example, we have it appears or it seems that there are no job opportunities in small towns. That would be letter B. Now, we're going to check the rest during class. Let's read the sentences. Which one seems more formal or dramatic? Pause the video while you think about this. Okay, so if you see, the second sentence of each pair is the one that is more formal or more dramatic. Now, we are using here some limiting or negative adverbs like rarely or never before or only, and then we are using the subject. However, if you notice, we are changing the position of the auxiliary verb and the subject. Rarely will you see. Never before will you experience. Only by visiting Atitlan Lake will you start living. Now, let's go ahead and practice, and let's go to our student book, page 38, exercise number 6. Here we need to match the sentence halves. For example, never had she understand how strongly I felt. Say as I took her hand, looked so beautiful. My best friend, she was also the love of my life. Ask such an important question. What do you think? That's right. Number three. Never had she looked so beautiful. Okay, pause the video while you work on the rest. Great, we're going to check this during class. Now I have here some words that I want you to please match to their meanings. Pause the video, please. Okay, so if I say that something is awe-inspiring, it means that it's amazing, it's breathtaking, it's very beautiful. Batter is to hit repeatedly with hard blows. Blurt out, announced loudly. Bobbing means moving up and down quickly. Bustling means full of activity. And shock is move slowly and loudly, usually with like explosion sounds. Now, go ahead and match these words too. Pause the video, please. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and check. We have concrete is a material used to build buildings. Exquisite is extremely beautiful, delicate. Grubby means dirty. Haphazard means random or unplanned. Homey is pleasantly comfortable or cozy. And in your face is directly at or against one. Now please pause the video while you match the words and their meanings. Great, let's check. Reverie means to daydream, to imagine you're like thinking about the things you want. Speed off is to leave quickly. Soaring, flying high. Tacky means not having good taste. Thriving, prosper well or vigorously. And thrusting, aggressively ambitious. Great. Now go to the student book page 39, exercise 4. Here we need to choose the correct words to complete the descriptions. Let's do the first one. It was a busy market town. Do you think homey, bustling, or bobbing? That's right, the answer is B, bustling, full of activity. Great, pause the video while you work on the rest. Okay, guys, excellent. This is the end of the review. We're going to check all of our exercises in class, okay? I will see you then. Bye bye.